Hello and welcome to another Dungeons & Dragons guide. This time I'm going to talk to you about magic and its rules within the game. My first character was a wizard, and I remember having no idea what to do or even what I could do. I just made up the rules as I went along. But now that I've actually read the books properly, I want to explain magic as clearly as I can. The information I'm giving you is based on 3.5 edition and Pathfinder. The first thing you're going to want is something else to write on that isn't the character sheet. When I play a magic user, I keep my own book of notes and spells simply because it's too much to remember. Spells come with a lot of changing numbers and flavor text that you need the books to tell you. Having your own notes is a courtesy to the other players so you don't hog the rulebook. Anyway, there are two kinds of magic, divine and arcane. The divine spellcasters are clerics, druids, paladins, and rangers. Arcane spells are cast by bards, sorcerers, and wizards. The important difference is that divine spells use your wisdom score, while arcane spells use your intellect score if you are a wizard, or your charisma if you are a sorcerer or a bard. Once you choose a class, you want to know what spells you'll be able to cast and when. For wizards, you start with all 0 level spells and 3 plus your intelligence modifier first level spells of your choice. These spells go into your spellbook to call upon later. Sorcerers and bards, however, are given charts in their chapters showing how many spells they can add to their collection every level. And as for the wisdom-based characters, they're allowed to choose from their whole collection as long as they are able to cast it. To be able to tell what spells you can and cannot cast, you look at your appropriate ability score, not the modifier. To cast 0 level spells, you need a score of at least 10. First level spells require 11, second, 12, and so on. Each class has a list of their spells categorized by spell level in the beginning of the spells chapter. Remember that the level in the headers is your caster level, not your character level. Your caster level is determined by what spells you're able to cast. Once you have your spells as you like them, you need to know how many spells you can cast in a day. Each class has a spells per day table in their chapter. A table early in either book shows you how many bonus spells you get based on your ability score. You can choose that many spells of that level to be used until your next rest. Keep in mind, higher level spell slots can be traded down, but never up. The dashes mean that under no circumstance can you cast a spell of that level until you reach that character level, even if you meet the score requirements ahead of time. As you cast your spells throughout the session, you start to run out of what are essentially spells that you charged up at the beginning. Unless you are playing a bard or a sorcerer, you must assign spells to your open slots. Remember, you must assign spells multiple times to use them multiple times. Once you run out of spells, your character must spend time preparing their spells again. Wizards must rest for 8 hours and spend 1 hour preparing their spells without interruption. All other classes only need to spend the 1 hour. This is only a problem if you're in a dangerous place or time is of the essence. Now that you hopefully know what spells you're able to cast, we can actually cast them. A spell's rules and details are found in either book in the spells chapter. Sticking with the beginner aspects of combat, let's say you want to cast Acid Splash at a target. First, you look at the casting time. Most spells only require one standard action, which you have one of per turn. If a spell takes an entire round to cast, you unleash the spell right before your next turn. Some spells may only require free action, while others have time in minutes. If you're casting a spell that takes minutes to cast in combat, remember that 1 round of combat is 6 seconds long, so 10 rounds is a minute. While you're casting these spells, you can't have your concentration broken. There are tons of rules for the various ways to get your concentration broken, but I'm just going to tell you about getting hit in combat. The DC for holding your concentration is 10 plus the damage you take plus the spell's level. If you lose concentration, you lose the spell with no refund to your spell slot. Back to Acid Splash, we want to make sure we can meet the components. These are broken up into 6 different kinds. Verbal, if you can speak, you're good. Semantic, you need at least 1 free hand. Material, unless it's something important, you can assume it's in your components pouch. A Divine Focus, if you're casting divine spells, your character probably just has one. And lastly, some spells take away from your XP. For the range, Acid Splash tells you the distance you can make a ranged touch attack. Some spells attack in an area of effect and targets must roll reflex saves and spell resistances. Other spells challenge the target's willpower. There are tons of different possibilities, you just have to know the right things to look for. Hopefully I've given you enough information to start your own adventures or make your current ones better. Until next time, I've been Direboyd, and thanks for watching.